LeBron, in many ways, was that, I mean, a gut check again for the first time, really since the Dallas game in a lot of respects? Was that good to go through on some level?
Well, I guess I think just I don't know, man. It was a good game. We did and we executed enough plays down the stretch to help us win. Gut check. I don't think it ever got to a gut check point where we was like, we feeling the pressure of the score and what the game was coming out to be towards the end. But for us, we happy that we continue to win and continuing to get better.
LeBron, it wasn't one of your better shooting nights, but I guess as you see these guys more and more, does it become more normal? You said before the game that it wasn't a normal feeling yet, but does it become more normal?
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but I did other things. I knew I didn't have it going, as far as shooting, so I just tried to concentrate on rebounding the basketball and doing other things to help us win. And that's the luxury of being on this team. When you're not shooting the ball particularly well, you have guys like Dwyane and Rio who stepped up tonight and shot the ball extremely well that can, take the pressure off you.
Dwyane, the fourth, you signal to the bench, you motion for the timeout, the wrist clearly ailing you, and then you come out and hit a three, then you're talking to the hand again a couple minutes later. Can you talk us through what that wrist was feeling like, and if you were able just to block it out and play through it, and has this been sort of a continual thing, maybe more than we realize?
Well, I mean, it's sore. One thing about, when you get a sprained wrist or you hurt your wrist, anytime you fall on it, it's going to feel like that first initial time when you first fell on it. I went to the bench and I put more tape on it, and I put, ice, the spray ice on it, and it was just hurting. But it was my left wrist, it's not my right one. So, it's not going to stop me from playing the game of basketball. And I was kind of hot at that time, so I thought I'd come out and try another shot and see if it really was bothering me. And then it wasn't. But play with any kind of injuries. That's what you have to do in this league. So I'm fine.
Ron, you addressed the talk that went back and forth up in Cleveland before the game. What was it like tonight from that aspect at all?
It's still a little weird going against your old teammates, but it wasn't nowhere near as weird as it was back in Cleveland. As the game went on, we was able to do the things that need to be done to win the ball game. It was never a point where I was unfocused on our task. I stayed focused, and understand what this game is all about, and understand we need to continue to play well. So, just happy we was able to get another win.
Dwyane, Heat Cavs have produced a lot of memorable dunks. You over Varejao, LeBron over Damon Jones back in the day. Where does the dive into the crowd rank?
Well, I haven't really seen it.
I've seen it.
I couldn't see it.
It's nuts.
So I can't rank it, but
wow.
but I put it up there, in my top ones just because of the play. I mean, how fast it was, how quick it was, and just the way that the crowd got into it. So I don't think I'll put it over the one from last year, but it'll go up there somewhere.
It's up there. It's top two.
LeBron, beyond the actual game on Friday night at the Garden, on Friday during the day or even tomorrow night when you get there, if you go out to dinner, if you're walking down the street, are you curious what the reception is like?
No, I was in New York after I signed here a few times. No one's going to actually come up to me and try to hurt me. I mean, I've been in Cleveland after I signed in Cleveland. No one's going to actually come up to me and say anything to me. They may wait till I walk down the street and yell it after they just walk past me. So I'm not worried. I'm probably go out to eat. If something going on tomorrow night, may hang out. I don't know. But I'm there Friday night to go get a win. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm not worried about nobody. No one's gonna do anything. I'm a big guy, man. No one's gonna say that to him.
Dwyane, I was wondering if you could just talk about, Chris is like the number 3 guy here with you guys, but he'll be playing Amari. Do you think this is a kind of a big test, not just for your defense, but for him in terms of what he brings to this team against Amari on Friday?
Well, first of all, I don't know how many, because of the way that New York play, I don't know how many one-on-one matchups he's really going to have. A lot of times Amari played a 5, Chris played a 4, and things of that nature. So, but I mean, I think both of them be up for the challenge. You know, it was two guys that was, really talked about big in the free agency, and guys that they felt can play with him or could play with me, etc. And Chris is here with us, so I don't think Chris is the kind of guy who's really going in and saying, okay, I got to win this one-on-one battle, because it's not about that. I think he want to come in and prove that he's a good fit for this organization, this team, and we all do. So I don't think he's really going to get into that.
Can you guys talk a little bit about what you've learned about each other thus far in the season that you might not have known coming into the season?
I don't think it's much. I think what that we're learning or we've kind of figured out is how to play together on the court. I mean, it was nothing personally, that we didn't know about each other that we're now starting to learn about one another. But I just think you can have a vision of how you want to play out on the basketball court, but until you get out on the court and actually have repetition, that's the only way you can, only way it can figure itself out. So, with D-Wade missing the whole training camp and then finally coming back, it took us a little time, and that was the only thing that we had to figure out is how both of us were going to be successful out on the court at the same time for the better of the team.